Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Wrestling Ginger Show here, bringing you guys all the latest updates and news with pro wrestling. Today we're going to recap Monday Night Raw from last night. We're going to talk about the whole Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins situation. We're going to talk about the women's tag team championship main event between Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Liv Morgan, Raquel. We are also going to talk about Damian Priest's promo on Gunther and how Gunther is starting to look very, very shaken up a little bit by Damian Priest. So let's dive into Monday Night Raw tonight. So we kick off Monday Night Raw with the ring general, the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther and Damian Priest confronting each other before their match at Survivor Series. Damian Priest's promos have really gotten so much better, man. He's great on the mic now. He's really getting into his character. He's really getting his aura about him, man. The entrance, the new theme, the stuff that he's been building up. It's actually been more of a slow build of Damian Priest. Him winning the World Championship was not the climax, that was just the start to his run, his story. And to build his character up to where he's trying to get it at. And he's not there yet, but he's definitely making his way up there. He's telling Gunther that he sees it in his eyes, he sees it in his face, that he's starting to lose that confidence, that he's starting to lose that aura. That he's not that monster right now that was coming up, that was being built up as the man, as the best, during his record-breaking Intercontinental Championship reign. Gunther really didn't have anything to say back. It was just all facial expressions from Gunther. So I think Damian Priest definitely got the better of him on this promo, and one up for Damian Priest for sure. Ludwig comes out. Ludwig starts spewing his lines and stuff like that. He gets in the ring, and he tries talking more smack to Damian Priest, and Gunther cuts off his mic. Ludwig is visibly shaken up, visibly frustrated with the ring general that happened. And he will not allow it. He will not stand for someone talking bad about the ring general. And I don't really think Ludwig's wrong, but he shouldn't be overstepping his boundaries all the time either. Gunther is the leader. Gunther is your ring general. You listen to him and you fall in line. So later in the night, the match is made for Ludwig Kaiser and Damian Priest. And very good promo by Damian Priest now. We see the New Day, and the New Day's imminent split is coming. Everybody can see it. I mean, unfortunately, I think they've been one of the greatest tag teams for a very long time. You know, they're right up there with the Usos. They're right up there with the, I want to say the Legion of Doom. Two very different tag teams, but they're up there with some of the greatest tag teams of all time. So it's very heartbreaking to see this going on. It's also very heartbreaking that Big E's not involved and that Big E's not in this anymore, because the story almost feels incomplete without Big E. But we see Kofi Kingston talking to R-Truth in the back, and he's explaining to R-Truth that why Xavier Woods doesn't want him getting involved with this stuff. And a lot of people could see where Xavier's coming from, that he's frustrated with where the New Day have been. Like I said, they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and now they've been basically jobbers. Xavier Woods is frustrated. I don't blame the guy. So he sees them talking in the back about the two. Then he confronts it. He says, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" And then all of a sudden, Butch, Pete Dunne, whatever you want to call him, he comes in and tries to interrupt R-Truth and says his funny banter about how his name's not Butch. And when R-Truth's walking around, he's still calling him Butch instead of Pete Dunne. We know Truth's a national treasure. Nothing this guy does is not funny. So they start bantering, and Kofi gets involved, which to Xavier's detriment. He's not happy with that. He doesn't see that he needs to be getting involved in R-Truth stuff. They have business that they got to take care of in the New Day. They got to get the New Day back on track. And Kofi Kingston doesn't seem as genuine about it. I wouldn't say genuine, that's the wrong word. Genuine. He's not caring about it, it seems like. He seems like he's already past it. And Xavier Woods is frustrated, so he says, "Do your own thing," walks away. We also see Damage Control gaining back Dakota Kai coming back from injury. Io Sky's great. I love Io Sky. Damage Control picks up the victory against Shayna Baszler and her team. Io Sky and Liv could have potential to be a very good match. I don't think they're going to take the belt off Liv so soon. They're still building her up. But Io Sky's a great opponent for her to build off of. And maybe one day she will take that belt off of her. Let's talk about this whole Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed situation. We have Seth Rollins defeating Bronson Reed over at Crown Jewel, back at Crown Jewel. And Bronson Reed, visibly after the match, was cut over his head, cut over his eye. He had a really good after look of the match. He's staring Seth Rollins down as he's walking to the back, basically telling us that this rivalry is not done. So Bronson comes out and he calls Seth out. You want me? You want me now? Seth's music hits. Seth is still such a megastar. He's still you could hear the crowd, how they react to him. When that music hit, that place was going nuts. He's walking out, and there is no talking. There is no much talking. They come out, they fight. They start brawling, and security, it's the whole pull apart, security. Bronson Reed tries to put Seth through the table again. Seth gets up, runs across the announce table, tackles Bronson Reed into the timekeeper's area, and we have a nice little brawl. Try to pull apart again. Seth Rollins gets outside of the ring now, and Bronson Reed hits this monster suicide dive on these poor security guards, bro. I said, oh my gosh, how are these guys even still alive? R.I.P. to those security guards. They break them apart. Adam Pearce's team, I guess they're calling it Adam Pearce's team now, so I guess there's one set of security guards, then the upper echelon of security guards, and Adam Pearce's if the other ones can't get him under control. They separate him. Finally, Seth goes to the back. You see Pearce talking to Seth, saying that he's tired of this. You want him one more time, you got him. So next week on Monday Night Raw, maybe we'll get a conclusion to this rivalry as we have Bronson Reed taking on Seth Rollins once again in a match. Tag team and faction dissension. That seems to be the theme of the show. We already had Ludwig and Gunther dissension. We already had the New Day dissension. Now we seem to have a little bit of tension in the back between the Judgment Day, between Finn Balor and JD, and Dom and Carlito. Carlito is kind of like in the middle, but he kind of sides with Dom. Dom's telling Finn, hey, I took out Damian Priest. What did you do to Damian Priest? That definitely got under his skin. So Finn says, we're a family. You want to handle business for your family? Let's make a match next week. So it's going to be next week, Dom and Carlito versus the Viking Raiders. And Dom seems pretty cool with it. Dom seems very confident right now after his win over Damian Priest. That was a funny segment, and some tension in the Judgment Day once again. So we'll see. That might not last too long, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta give it to you. The Final Testament, that was your best segment since being a team. I have said time and time before how Karrion Kross just has no personality in this little Final Testament thing. He doesn't seem like a guy that wants to be in a faction. He needs to be on his own, like how he was in NXT with Scarlett, winning the NXT title down there. We can go on and on about how guys on the main roster should be doing the same thing they did in NXT. It's happened for years. We see it's not the same. But this was definitely the best segment between the Final Testament, finally. So they're sitting in the back, confronting The Miz. All of a sudden, The Miz has popped up after being taken by the Wyatts for weeks, and he returns. Karrion's looking for the Wyatts. So he has AOP drag The Miz out to the ring. They're about to attack The Miz, and they're looking for the Wyatts, and all of a sudden the lights go out. The Wyatts show up, all on the ring apron. They get in the ring, they do the stare down, the team stare down between the two teams. All of a sudden The Miz hits Eric Rowan on the back with a chair. Smart. Take the big guy out immediately. Uncle Howdy looks back at The Miz, starts laughing. They start brawling. And the Final Testament, they got the upper hand on the Wyatt Six. And that segment ended with the Wyatt Six, all of them laying in the ring, taken out. Bo Dallas on the rope, laughing again. The Wyatt Six, I don't know, man. They just don't do it for me. They're not the original Wyatts. They're not, I'm sorry, Bo, but make your own character, man. You're trying to be your brother, build off your brother, man. You got to do your own thing, man. And the Wyatt Six, they haven't even featured them on television that much. I mean, they're booked into a segment with the Final Testament. Like I said, this was the Final Testament's best angle they've done. But the Final Testament are TV guys. They're not on big programs. They're TV program guys. So I'd like to see maybe Bo Dallas. You got to build him up because right now he does not look like a strong character, in my opinion. You got to build him up. You got to build him up if you want this Wyatt Six to work out. Because fans are not going to be happy if they just keep the Wyatt Six down. Just TV segment guys. Just become TV segment guys once again. So that was that segment. Like I said, Final Testament, great segment. From them, the best one they can do, the best one they can produce. And we see that match between Kofi Kingston and Pete Dunne. Great match. It was a good match. Kofi Kingston still going in the ring. Kofi Kingston's a national treasure when it comes to being in the ring. I love watching the man work. Him and Pete Dunne actually have really good chemistry. It was a great match. It ends, though, with Xavier Woods clotheslining Pete Dunne on the outside, and Kofi saw it. The ref didn't see it. Kofi saw it, and he didn't want that to happen. So he confronts Xavier Woods. While he confronts Xavier Woods, Pete Dunne in the ring has time to regain himself. And he regains himself, hits Kofi with his finishing move, and the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne picks up the win. Another sign that tension and a boiling point is reaching in the New Day. I think, give it a month. Maybe even at Survivor Series they do it. But I think it'll be done on TV. I don't think it'll be done on a pay-per-view. So I'd say probably on Raw. Give it a couple weeks before Xavier Woods just grabs Kofi and throws him against the ring post or something. Because it's going to be a breakup. It's not going to be just I'm walking away, we're done. It's going to be a heartfelt breakup for sure. So the theme of tonight, like I said, has been teams. Tension and teams. And now we move on to the Ludwig Kaiser match and Damian Priest match. And Ludwig, man, he looks great. Every match that he's in, he looks absolutely great. I think he's a great wrestler. He's great on the mic. He has a good look. He has a good all-around aura about him. And he's already been in major promos. A lot of people don't even realize that he's already main evented Monday Night Raw a lot this year. He has main evented Monday Night Raw. He has been in a nice promo with Sheamus. He's been along the ride with Gunther the whole time. He's not just a sidekick anymore. He's actually coming into his own. Great match, great showing by Damian, great showing by Ludwig. Damian picks up the victory in a very well fought match. The main event of Monday Night Raw featured the women's tag team title match between Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, taking on the team of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. It was actually a good match, man. It was a very good match. I didn't think that Jade and Bianca were losing their belts yet, so I at least kind of knew where it was going. Interference. Did I expect all the SmackDown girls to come? Maybe not. They've been mixing the Raw and SmackDown talent a lot lately, so it's not a surprise, especially with the Usos, the Bloodline, and everything. So Nia Jax comes out, attacks Jade and Bianca after the match. People start spilling out. Nia comes in, Naomi comes in, Tiffany comes in, it's whole chaos, and that was the main event of Monday Night Raw. They went with the women's tag team title match for the main event. Duly noted that Bianca Belair did get the pinfall victory over Liv Morgan, the World Heavyweight Champion. So that is something to look out for too, because Bianca might be next in line after Io for getting that pinfall victory. You can note they specifically cut to Liv Morgan after that pinfall victory to show that she was visibly upset. So this could be a promo that we're getting to come very soon. Also, another thing to note from Monday Night Raw is Seth Rollins being confronted by Sami, also the New Bloodline. Now, Sami confronts Seth Rollins first, and Seth Rollins says, "No way, what are you, crazy after that? That's insane." He goes out, is confronted by Solo and Jacob. Says no to both. So we're building something on that too. The whole Seth and teaming with Roman thing is not going to happen, I don't think. Seth told Solo that the next time I see Roman Reigns is would I stomp his head in the mat. But he will also not team with a false Roman Reigns. So maybe we see the new Bloodline get involved in Seth Rollins' match next week against Bronson Reed. You never know. That could happen. But I don't think they're going to go that direction with Seth Rollins teaming with the Bloodline for War Games. I just don't see it happening. I would see Cody before that, but Cody might be involved in a program with Kevin Owens. So they do have someone to find. They do have someone to find for sure, but I don't think it's going to be Seth Rollins in that match whatsoever. Overall, I think it was a good Monday Night Raw. Like I said, the theme of tonight was teams, tension in teams. And we saw a lot building tonight. You know, a lot of stories going into fruition, even TV angles, a lot of stories. Triple H is really focused on stories, and that's what we're seeing. You know, and it's a very good thing because we haven't gotten that in a very long time. We just got match, dump match. 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row, the same match over and over with no story, just get in the ring, wrestle. So I do like that. Even the mid card, the lower card guys are even getting their own stories on TV now. You know, back in the Attitude Era, there were a lot of TV stories. There were a lot of TV stories that only played out on TV. So this is a very big product of Triple H's Attitude Era speaking, and even the Ruthless Aggression Era, there were some TV rivalries. But more so in the Attitude Era, and I see where he's going with this. I give Monday Night Raw B. I think there was a lot of stuff. I think it was definitely better than SmackDown, and I think Raw has been a lot more consistent than SmackDown throughout the overall show. SmackDown has good segments, seems like from the start and the finish, but in that middle, they need to pack it up a little bit more. Raw seems to be fully locked down. You know, and I think that's coming from the 3 hours to the 2 hours. They kind of have too much now on Monday Night Raw, so it doesn't ever feel boring on Monday Night Raw. Matches we have announced for Survivor Series so far are the five War Games. Obviously, we only know 8 members right now. I think in the next couple weeks, we will know each 5th member on the team. Damian Priest versus Gunther in a rematch from SummerSlam when Gunther did take the World Heavyweight Championship from Damian Priest. And I think Survivor Series is going to build up to be something very good. Now, like I said, we got to see what Cody Rhodes is going to do over there. We got to see what the whole... I mean, they wrote Randy off TV, though, after that pile driver, so I don't think he's going to be back for a while. So, which leads to tell me that it definitely will be Cody versus Kevin Owens at Survivor Series, but that's not locked in. After that, we have Saturday night's main event in Nassau Coliseum. It was just reported that they are going for the old school look at Saturday night's main event, that 1980s feel. You know, the first Saturday night main event was in that building in Nassau Coliseum. They just added tickets to make space for that old setup, so there's more tickets available now. If you haven't gotten tickets and you're interested in going to Long Island, New York for Saturday night's main event, get your tickets now. They weren't horribly priced. They weren't WrestleMania prices, that's for sure. The other day, I talked about WrestleMania prices actually, and I've still been monitoring, and they're still the same. So my advice from last video is still the same: book your flight, book your hotel, and if anybody actually wants to chill in Vegas, let me know. I'm going just me, solo, and solo WrestleMania tickets. That's what I do. I do my stuff solo. You guys want to meet up there, have a drink, talk wrestling, chill out? I'm all for it. Just like, share, subscribe, comment down below if you guys want to meet up with me. Whatever you guys want. Tomorrow night I'll be back, and I will record this video on Tuesday morning after Monday Night Raw, after a long night of work. I'll be covering NXT. Wednesday I'll cover Dynamite. Thursday TNA Wrestling. I did miss the coverage on NXT and AEW this week, but it was just so long after it, I was like, I can't get to it a week after. No one will even care about the video. So, yeah. And I'm going to start some shorts. I'm going to start doing a lot of things. I'm going to start putting clips on. I'm going to start talking about wrestling memorabilia. Wrestling memorabilia is a big thing, and a lot of people don't realize that there is a whole huge wrestling community for ringside chairs, for WWE titles, etc. I'm a big collector. I have to have all the belts. I got to get a case for IKEA for my belts right now. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Like, share, subscribe. The Wrestling Ginger channel It's only going to get bigger and bigger from here. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next time.